What the fuck is good, ladies and gentlemen? Today, I'm going to be ranking the best ways to make your first $10,000 completely online. Now, I got a few different options here. I'm going over the most commonly used ones these days and the most trending ones these days. And to start off this list, I'm going to be talking about day trading. I feel like TJR is the best representation of day trading. Obviously, recently he bought this Koenigsegg. It was like $3.5 million. But I think what a lot of people don't understand about day trading is it's definitely not a get rich quick scheme. Like, it takes years to actually understand a good strategy that's gonna make you a lot of money. Now, that's not to say you can't make a lot of fucking money with day trading. Obviously, you can see TJR is raking it in with the money he's making from day trading. And I know actually a few day traders myself, but they will tell me time and time again, this is not something you pick up overnight. This is something you work on doing back testing, understanding the entire fucking market for months upon years, trying to actually have a good understanding of this. Now, for that reason, I think day trading is a great thing to get into, and it's something I'll probably look into later down the track. But for me, it's all about making money now. And I think for you guys, if you want to make your first $10,000 online, I would say day trading is probably an F tier. Maybe E tier, but I would put F tier, because if you want to make your first 10K a month, or $10,000 I should say, as quickly as possible, this is just not it. It's going to take you a fucking year. Moving on next, let's talk about brand scaling. And everyone's talking about it because Brez Scales, if you don't know him, he's a 20-year-old who owns like 3 different supercars. He makes a fuck ton of money, and everyone's trying to get into brand scaling right now. If you don't know what it is, all you're basically doing is running paid ads for e-com brands. Well, that's what this guy does. He runs paid ads for clothing brands in particular, and that's all you're basically doing. Now, overall, is it a difficult thing to get into? I would say yes and no. It takes a lot less time than, say, day trading, but you still have to understand a lot of different things. You need to obviously understand how to run paid ads. You need to understand how to actually get your first couple clients. You need to have systems. You need to have employees that do the work for you so then you can scale. People also don't understand when you're working with clients like these large businesses, you're usually at the feet of these people. You're like a glorified employee. And especially starting out when you don't have a name in brand scaling or in your own sort of marketing agency, you need to either work for free or work for extremely cheap so then you can show your clients that you will get results, which could take months and months of actually doing the work, learning the skills, and seeing nothing in return until you finally get those clients on a retainer. Now, once you do get them on a retainer though, they could be paying you anywhere between 1 to maybe 2, 3K per month just for your services. And then maybe on top of that, you may get a percentage of the revenue that they're making per year. But overall, if we're talking about the quickest and best way to start making money online, I honestly would put this probably at a C tier. Like, it's there. It's something that you could definitely get into. You could definitely make 10K a month with. But once again, there's a lot of different aspects that people don't actually think about when coming into brand scaling. Next up, let's talk about SMMA. And if you've ever looked into it before, you would know who this is, Iman Gadzhi. Look, if you've even looked into online business in the first place, you have seen this face, all right? Now, this is basically like brand scaling, but on steroids. So brand scaling, obviously, you're just running paid ads for businesses. But with an SMMA, you're running paid ads, doing SEO optimization, building websites, taking care of their entire marketing. Now, like I said, this is very similar to brand scaling. You can charge more for these services because you're doing more, but it's the same thing, if not worse, because you need to learn even more things before actually turning a profit. And the same thing goes when actually getting your first few clients. You're either gonna have to work for free or work for super cheap, which means you're gonna do a lot of unpaid work for months and months on end before you build some really good. And I've actually got a bit of experience in SMMA myself. I have made a little bit of money with it, but again, same thing with what I said with the brand scaling is like, you're basically a glorified employee. You're basically at the feet of your clients' needs 24/7. But longevity wise, if you build a strong marketing agency, it can work out very well for you. Once again though, you need to hire out teams and be really good at managing those teams as well. I would put it probably at a D, but once again, that's not to say that this shit doesn't work. Next up, let's talk about investing in crypto. Now, this is a great way to make money, but it's only a good way to make money if you have a lot of. I can't tell you how many times people have reached out to me and been like, hey bro, I invested $100 into Bitcoin, or $1,000 into Bitcoin. I'm gonna be making heaps of money. That's just not the truth, right? especially if you want to get out of your job ASAP, make your first 10K ASAP. Yeah, okay, maybe you're making a 10 to 20% return on your investment yearly. But brother, if you chucked in $1,000, which seems like a lot of money, you're only making $200 in return after a year of investing. Now look, if you've actually cracked the code, you've made a shit ton of money, you have hundreds of thousands in the bank or even millions in the bank account, you might as well put it into crypto because it's obviously just going to compound into more. But if you have no money, it's fucking pointless, bro. You're better off investing in actually getting the right training or actually learning a skill or a business model. So look, in terms of making your first $10,000 online, I would probably put this at an E tier. Yes, you can get extremely lucky and put a bit of money onto like a meme coin and it just goes to the fucking moon. But if you're focusing on that, bro, you are pretty much gambling. It's most likely not going to work in your favor and you're just wasting your fucking time. Let's talk about YouTube automations. Now, this was something that was really popular like a couple years ago. It's still something that a lot of people do today. If you don't know what it is, all you're doing is creating a YouTube channel from scratch and then creating like these brain rot videos that like kids watch, and you're just getting paid basically off the AdSense. So say if you put out a YouTube video that's like 20 minutes long and it's got millions and millions of views, you'll get paid like actually quite a bit of money for it. Problem is though, you either have to be extremely good at editing, and the thing is, even if you're good at editing, it will take really long to actually put out these videos, and at the end of the day, it's a volume game. The more amount of videos you can put out, the more money you'll make. So if you think about it in that sense, you're going to spend your entire day editing these videos, or you can hire someone on Fiverr or just hire an editor to actually make these videos, but then you're forking out hundreds and hundreds of dollars off rip. Not to even mention, it is an overly competitive market. Everyone's fucking doing it. It's been out for maybe like 2-3 years now. You have so much competition in this space. So for that, and I actually know quite a few people that have gotten into this or tried to get into this recently, I would put this at an F tier. All right, next up, let's talk about personal branding. And obviously I put my own Instagram in here. I probably have a bit over 100,000 followers all together on TikTok, Insta, and all my other accounts. And yeah, personal branding. A lot of people think about getting into personal branding, posting content. You can make a lot of fucking money with it. If you aren't aware, I mean, think about Mr. Beast. Think about Logan Paul. I mean, Logan Paul started off on Vine making fucking stupid videos, right? Skits, whatever it was, then moved it into a YouTube channel and they was making a lot of money off the AdSense off that YouTube, and then built a massive audience, started selling his own clothing, started a podcast. Now he's doing Prime. Now he's in the WWE. He's making fucking probably 9 figures right now from his personal brand. But what a lot of people don't realize, it takes time and it's not as easy as just posting content online. It's a big commitment where you need to be consistent and strategic with the content that you post. And don't get me wrong, you can build a following in a short period of time. Like even for me, I gained like 30,000 followers in just one day. And off the back of that, you can get brand deals, you can start affiliating for businesses, you can go sell your own product or your own services. But once again, it's not as easy as it looks. I think by far though, it is the best business to get into in terms of long term if you are someone that likes posting content, because your personal brand is with you for life and it will help you build a lot of different businesses later down the track. All right, let's talk about AI sports betting, which is something that's been pretty popular this past year, even last year as well. Pretty popular in Australia, America, and I think the UK as well. All you're doing is basically using AI to predict the outcome of sports events and make money off that. Now, first problem is that's fucking illegal. So if you get caught, you are cooked. And secondly, these sports betting apps are on top of these softwares. Pretty much every sports betting account that you create has a cap and a limit, I should say, on the amount of money you can actually make on that account. So say you make $5,000, your account is now capped. You're not going to be able to make any more than that. And to be honest, everyone that I've talked to about AI sports betting has said that it's actually not real and people are just trying to sell a course on that new best thing. I probably would put it at an E tier, probably, if not F tier. Next up, let's talk about appointment setting. Now, if you don't know what that is, all you're doing is sending DMs on behalf of a business and booking in people for sales calls. So then that person can be either sold on their services or their products. Now, if you don't know, this is how I actually got myself into making money online, how I got myself out of my job in the first place. When I was working in construction, I was working 60-hour weeks, and in all my spare time, I would just work on appointment setting, sending out DMs, trying to make some money. The way you need to think about it is like this though. So if you're appointment setting for a high ticket offer, let's just say it's worth $10,000, which is pretty common, you will get a minimum of a 5% commission per sale, which means you would make $500 per appointment you book that closes. So if you simply just had one booked call close every single day, you would be making $500 every single day. And for me, when I was doing it on the side while still working my full-time job, I was able to make more than enough to replace my income and leave my job. I honestly think this is the best side hustle to get into and one of the best ways to make your first $10,000 online. Because the other thing is that a lot of people, when you start an agency, a business, you need to worry about all the back end systems, all the overhead problems. Whereas if you just work in sales as an appointment setter, so for that and the fact that this is the shit that got me out of my job, I'll put this at an A tier because it definitely could be better. Next up, let's talk about dropshipping. If you don't know what it is and you've been living under a fucking rock, all you're basically doing is selling products from AliExpress, Alibaba, Temu, and selling it to other people for a more expensive price. So what you do is you create a website and then you start running ads and yeah, pretty much buy, say, a product for like $10, sell it for $40, and then make, like $20 profit. What they don't tell you though is out of that $20 profit, you need to also pay for marketing, which means you need to pay for ads as well to actually get this product out there and be seen. It's like, even for me, when I was making 10K a month in dropshipping, the profit margins were really low. Like on average, it's roughly like 15 to 20%. So out of that $10,000 a month, I think I only made like about $2,000 profit for that month. So overall, it still works. It's still a thing. It's never going to die out, but I would probably put this at a C tier. Once again, I've made 10K a month with this, but yeah, I don't know if it's worth getting into these days. Now let's talk about its sexy older sister, digital dropshipping, or just selling digital products. If you don't know what it is, you'd be selling things like ebooks, recipes, programs, AI softwares, apps, pretty much anything that's like a service or a product that's literally just online. Not a physical thing like selling stuff on dropshipping, selling shitty products from Alibaba. Like I said before, dropshipping on average, it's like 15 to 20% profit margins. Digital products is anywhere between 70 and 100%. Plus, you don't have to run paid ads. You can just use organic content to promote your stuff. I personally was able to make over $10,000 online just selling digital products as well. So I would put this at an A tier too. Last but not least, let's talk about remote closing. Now, if you don't know what that is, it's just like the other side of appointment setting. You know how I was talking about an appointment setter books in a sales call for them to be sold on a product or a service. As a remote closer, you're essentially taking those booked calls and closing the deal. Now, like I said before, with appointment setting, maybe you're working off a $10,000 offer, you would make $500 per sale. With remote closing, you can make anywhere between $1,000 to $1,500 per sale. And all you're doing is taking a 30 to 45 minute sales call. Now, this obviously requires being good at speaking to people, being good in front of a camera. But if you're a gun closer, you could be making $1,000 in just 30 minutes of your time. And also not having to worry about all the issues with running a business, like overhead or any of the back end shit. Like imagine a life where you could travel the world, take a 30-minute sales call in the morning, close that, make $1,000, and then just chill for the rest of the day. This is what I got into after learning appointment setting, and it completely exploded my income. Just to give you guys more perspective on how much money you can make as a remote closer, these are people that are in the exact same community as me where I learned remote closing. You've got Tim here who made $3,000 in a single week, fully remote as a 19-year-old still at university. Or what about Chawong here who made $7,000 in 7 days as a 22-year-old still working a job as well. Eliza who made $1,800 in her first week as a closer. Brody Cusack, $3,500 in a week as a closer and he used to be a Boilermaker. Mikey Holden, $7,500, used to be a chippy. We've even got people landing We've even got people landing absolutely insane roles. We got Jamie Pollock here who landed a role with a 90,000. Hold on. Hey, I'm here till 11.
You're here till 11?
Yeah, the host said to.
Okay. I'm sorry, I thought there was an error.
Oh, it's all good.
Just let me know.
You're alright.
Alright.
We've even got We've even got people landing absolutely insane roles as well. This is Jamie here, who landed a role which would pay him $90,000 as his base salary, plus uncapped comms. So his on-target earnings would be between $200,000 and $400,000 per year. Or even Ryan O'Neill, who's from Ireland, who landed himself a role that would pay him 109,000 British pounds per year. That's roughly $220,000 Australian. Or even check out Benny Pham here, who landed a role with Brett's Scales and in his first week made $2.6 thousand. Or even check out Conrad here, who landed a role with Nathan Nazareth and has been able to make 22,000 USD in just 4 fucking weeks, buy himself his dream car, an M4 comp. Now look, if you want to learn more about remote closing and appointment setting the exact same way that I was able to leave my job and scale my income, and the exact same way these people that I've just shown you was able to make money as well, put a link in the description to apply for the exact same training that we've all gotten. Now look, please only click that link if you're serious about making a change and willing to invest in the right training to get you to your goals. If not, I've got plenty of other YouTube videos that'll explain more about remote closing and high ticket sales as a whole. And please, if you have any questions, just shoot me a message on my IG and I can get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video and I'll see you in the next one.